welcome to the North Bank Podcast. I'm your host, Holly, and I'm joined by Stef and Chris. Hi, guys.
Evening.
Hello.
We doing well? Enjoying the break still?
Kind of.
It's like a muted, stunned response to that. Would you like to confide? Did you offload? How's it going?
Back-breaking farm work. I can't wait to go back to school for a break, but, otherwise.
Behave yourself. You haven't even done a week off yet.
I feel like I've done 9 years hard labour in a Siberian camp. A lot of work, a lot of digging.
What are you
I've
digging?
just got 3 kids running around off school, so similarly looking forward to the beginning of school again.
We should just rename
grumpy
this.
old men, innit?
Yeah, rename this pod "Grumpy Old Men," and I'm the upbeat one. What the hell?
It's just life, innit?
Scratch it. Well, okay. Well, let's focus on football. We'll talk about Arsenal. We'll talk about the pre-season, how it's going so far. We'll talk about the transfers in, the potential transfers out. We'll also have a look at our rivals and what they're doing. But before all of that, there's only one place to start, and that's with the Lionesses yesterday. The first England team to win a tournament on foreign soil. I think we'd gone the first team to go a goal down in every knockout game and still win through. The list of firsts is just incredible. Fantastic achievement, and Arsenal had a massive role. And I mean, even to score the
6 players,
but also the Spanish goal scorer, Arsenal player. So it was. We had a lot of vested interest in it. Of course, we would have watched it anyway. But always as even watching the men's team, it's like the level or depth of my investment is directly proportionate with the amount of Arsenal players involved, and so I was very invested in this tournament, from like Michel Agimang's 96th minute equaliser against Italy in the semi-final, Chloe Kelly's 119th rebound penalty in the last minute in that game, and Chloe Kelly coming on and putting in an absolutely wicked cross for Rousseau that's a fantastic header, and it was just brilliant. It was brilliant, and the penalty shooter. I mean, look, if you're being honest, I guess Spain were probably the better football team, but the one thing that this England team have is mentality, resilience. They did not. I mean, Lucy Bronze playing the tournament with a broken leg.
That's crazy. That
is ridiculous. And the injury she got in the final was to the other leg. So she's not even limping. Like, what? How? And it's brilliant. And do you know what? You guys can give your reaction. But just the cherry on the icing on the cake is that success has boiled the piss of all the right people. I love it. I love it. So just that there. Anyway, so guys, did you watch the game and what are your thoughts?
I absolutely watched the game. I was invested very much in a knockout phase of the England games. And you said about Spain being the better football team. Sure, lots of possession, nice, neat little passing. They are clearly a very good team. They press in all the right ways and they're just all over you. They swarm. But I don't know. They had a lot of shots, but it wasn't all that. This England team under Wiegman have just got a winning mentality. They don't know when they beat. They just keep going and found a way. Chloe Kelly to score 2 winners in 2 successive European finals, having been basically thinking about quitting football because she was kind of frozen out at City. Arsenal take her back, having been there as a young player. And she wins the European Cup. She wins the Euros for England. What a year. Love her.
Yeah.
And a Champions League winner as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Chris.
Echoes of the Arsenal, really, isn't it? With all that possession, the irony of Spain having 23 shots or something, and obviously the lion's share of the possession, still couldn't break them down. Okay, England rode their luck a little bit. I think there were a couple of occasions where they should have maybe hit the target. But yeah, all part of the game, and to dig in like that, and also similar to the Arsenal-Barcelona final where Barcelona were fancied the better football team, but Arsenal found a way. So thrilled with that. And being a dad of 3 girls in a house watching the game with their friends, and it was basically a room full of girls and women that I saw the game at, and to celebrate a game of football, I never thought I'd see the day. As a kid growing up, it was just such a Boise thing, culturally. So to be there surrounded by women who genuinely got out of their seats and were excited for the game and obviously the result was just lovely to see.
Yeah, they could identify with people on the pitch and say, I can be like that. I can emulate that.
I was just thinking
just as role models beyond football.
Yeah. Working in schools, we have certain sort of life skills or PSHE things that come up, and there's a phrase that's always stuck with me, that you can't be what you can't see. And the fact that women's football was banned for such a long time, it never entered anyone's head. And I think Arsenal are leading the way in some respects because they realise now, and you have to put your cynical hat on a little bit because there's a business going. Money can be made with women's football now, so it will take off. That's what will mean that it snowballs further. And like you say, young girls watching that will now think, well, I want to do that. So it's all positive. Arsenal women play all their games at the Emirates next year. That's going to be fantastic. Yeah, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Just, I forgot to mention in terms of talking about the players, about Leah Williamson captaining her club and her country to 2 European successes. And in both of those games, I don't think she put a foot wrong. What a leader.
She missed a penalty. I'm being harsh.
Penalties.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
But no, you're right.
It wasn't a great tournament for penalties and penalty shootouts.
No.
Yeah,
that was all part of the narrative, though, Chris.
Great drama.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, my 11-year-old is now like, she wants a Leah Williamson top.
Brilliant. And just on that, I mean, this stat is from before the final, so I don't know. It's probably altered since then, but they'd already sold 15,000 season tickets for the WSL at Arsenal for next season. I think all the WSL games are at the Emirates, and they've sold over 15,000 season tickets already. So, Steph, you was alluding to the business side of things.
I think they're selling
clubs.
I was just going to say, I think they're also selling them in blocks of games. So if you don't commit to a full season, I can't remember what it is. It's like 6 or 8 games or something like that. So people can, break them up.
Yeah, because I mean that number will obviously go up quite considerably from there over the next few weeks. I don't know when the WSL kicks off, but it'll be a few weeks' time, and could be 20, 25,000 season tickets. I mean, that puts Arsenal women in the upper echelons of the Premier League in terms of number of season tickets sold. Like, I mean, Arsenal are definitely at the forefront of pushing the women's game forward. So brilliant. And yeah, it is. I have a daughter, and she was in the pub with her friends watching the game yesterday.
Most watched TV event of the year.
22 million or something like that, just under 22 million.
Be amazed if anything beats it.
Yeah. So again, on terrestrial television though, so accessible.
Absolutely.
And that's I suppose the thing to look, as we're talking about the way that it's being kind of monetized, if you like, is that I hope it doesn't become as lucrative as the men's game in a way, because then it will go behind a paywall, and then we will see a slight kind of muddying of the purity of it at the moment as it is. But I suppose it's inevitable.
Yeah, the money, follow the money. That tends to be how it works. But anyway, brilliant achievement, and no bank holiday though. Shame. Boo to that. Not that it would have impacted me or you, Steph, because we're on holiday.
Yay.
6 weeks, bank holidays. Anyway. Okay, so on to the men's. And we're 2 pre-season games down so far. I must confess, I've watched the 10-minute highlights on the Arsenal.com site for the Newcastle game, and I saw very little of the AC Milan game. Steph, I don't know about you, but I know, Chris, you've seen both games, Chris. Steph, you're shaking your head, so you haven't seen them.
No,
so,
I haven't watched
so,
them.
so, Chris, holistically, rather than individual, like break down individual moments within the games, how have we looked so far? Like, it's absolutely impossible to read anything about the two games and not have the name of Max Dowman at the very, very top and tip of everyone's tongue, top of everyone's list of positives and highlights so far. The kid turned 50. The kid's just finished year 10. Like, I can't fathom that. Like, and I just the run he went on to win the penalty against Joe Linton, which is just a thing of beauty. But the run, not the close control, but the speed with which and it doesn't look like he's going fast, but he's leaving Premier League players in his wake. So he must be going fast with the ball. And there's an end product. 2 shots he had, well saved, and won the penalty. He had the nous, feel the contact, go down. We'll come on. We'll talk about him again as well. But apart from Max Dowman, other notable highlights or standouts.
Well, I think you're right to look at it kind of holistically and to say that I think because we've got quite a lot of new signings, and B, because we've got a pretty rough start to the season, I think it was clear from the 2 games that there's an intensity to it that you maybe wouldn't see in friendlies. That Arteta is trying to get them to hit the ground running and bed them in, and like Zubimendi's playing, the 60 minutes or whatever it was that he got deliberately so because he's clearly aiming to start him at United. And so there was a lot of that feeling for me, is that they're taking this, particularly the Newcastle game. It was quite tasty. There's obviously that rivalry between us, spilled over occasionally. Dowman, particularly when he came on, was slapped within seconds.
Isn't that child abuse?
Joel Linton, yes, probably. And then he made Joel Linton look daft by the end of it, which was glorious. But yeah,
can I just pull you up on that, on what you just said then, about Arteta taking this really seriously, or maybe with added commitment or conviction because of the start we've got. And I know I said don't talk about Max Dowman. However, is it quite interesting then that he's come on in both games with half an hour to go? Like that's and has an impact. Like,
yeah, I don't think he's not going to be a starter, clearly, but he's maybe just giving them, this is a good opportunity to blood him, I guess, early doors.
And to see how he does.
Yeah, and he's obviously done very well.
Old hand of Arsenal, who is a legend amongst Arsenal fans now, whoever he is, he retweeted a tweet he put out the back end of 2024, where senior Arsenal players have been left open-mouthed at the skill of Max Dowman in training. He's making seasoned, and this is Arsenal players, seasoned professionals look ordinary in training. And this is a 14-year-old at the time. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I will say, though, someone else made a very good point, and they posted, I don't know if you guys have seen it, I can't remember who it was, I should have made a note. But people saying, he's the best 15-year-old they've ever seen. And this Arsenal fan tweeted a kind of montage of Ødegaard at 15. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, twinkle toes. I mean, he was the best 15-year-old in the world. I mean, he went to Real Madrid. Was it Real Madrid he went to, or was it Barca? It was Real Madrid, wasn't it?
Real Madrid.
And then they loaned him out pretty...
Yeah, but at 15, so let's not get too carried away. But...
Cesc.
16.
Yeah.
But he is in that company, isn't he? Like,
very much so. And it is that old cliche of if you're good enough, you're old enough. And for his position, he doesn't need to be built like a tank. It's his speed and speed of thought as well.
You've watched
maturity beyond his years.
You've watched the 2 games, Chris. How has Ødegaard played? And the reason I'm asking, I'll give you a bit of context. He seems to be the one that's taken Max Dowman under his wing on the field. I know Declan Rice is kind of his mentor off the pitch, but on the pitch, a lot of pointing, a lot of coaching on the pitch, Ødegaard to Dowman. has Ødegaard's, because he is the Ødegaard's kind, that's his position, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so has Ødegaard not lifted his game, but has he rediscovered his 2 seasons ago form rather than last season's form, do you think?
Well, not yet, I'd say. But it's so hard with such a small sample size of, half an hour every game. It's not, you can't make those calls. But yeah, he looks better. He looks fresher. He seems to have put on a bit of timber. He's lost that wispy gaunt.
Has he had a shave?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, good.
He's got a bit of a tan,
God.
So the Scandinavian tan. So yeah,
he's
he
obviously
looks better.
He's getting decent night's sleep now. The baby's sleeping, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Anyone else stand out? I know in the first game, the other 15-year-old Marley Salmon, the centre back, he got half an hour as well, and apparently did quite well. Anyone else stand out? Zubimendi mentioned.
Winery again.
Central or out wide?
In the kind of Ødegaard role, and so drifting into that inside right channel, cutting in. I think you probably all saw the little skills moment
by the touchline.
The one touch.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, but it's hard with that. Like I said, a small sample size, but they're definitely hitting the ground running. There's an intensity to the way they've played these 2 games, and I think it's deliberate. So hopefully with Gyökeres coming in time, hopefully for a half an hour against Spurs.
Is that Thursday?
It ramps up even further.
Hong Kong Thursday?
Yeah,
yeah,
Hong Kong, yeah.
Do you think he hasn't had a training session? Do you think he's
been training alone. He's been training alone, which is obviously not the same as training with the group. But between now and then, obviously he'll be part of, once he gets over his jet lag, he'll be part of
he won't know what time of the day it is.
Be all over the place, won't he? Emotionally. Did you see the interviews with him? He's quite a cool cat, isn't he?
He could be another one slightly
determined.
Mentality.
Kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Give me Thierry's shirt.
That's good. Yeah, you want that. It's like who else has had it? Theo Walcott. Who else has had that number 14?
Dowman.
Oh yeah.
Nketiah.
Eddie.
Oh yeah, and Eddie. Yeah. Just need Eze to come in and take the 10.
Is the 10 still available? No one's got the 10.
Vacated by ESR.
Max Dowman.
Not this year.
Okay, but if I said if Madueke had made the 2 30-minute appearances that Max Dowman had made in these 2 pre-season games, and we've dropped 48.5 million on him minimum, we wouldn't be too disappointed.
I dare say, had you spent 70 on a real star and they put in that performance, you'd be saying, yeah.
So why should he not be considered as a first team? Like, he won't start, but
because he's 15.
If you're good, I thought it was you just said, is if you're good enough, you're old enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the flip side of that is there's that plateau thing of young players, that natural, physical, mental, that unless he is some kind of, Lamine Yamal kind of level of
Messi.
Superstar player where they just go up and up and up and up, and there's no physical drop-off and mental drop-off and plateau, which is just crazily unusual.
I mean, Lamine Yamal's only just turned 18, hasn't he? So
it's ridiculous.
But that's 3 years.
Pro.
That's 3 years older than Max Dowman.
I think Dowman's 16 at the end of the year.
December 31st. He just turned 15. December 31st.
Right. Okay.
He's not even 15 he's just over 15 and a half.
15
He's still young enough to call him for a half a year to be significant.
So New Year's Day he can ride a moped. Isn't that right?
And in the future be able to vote.
Yes. But he won't be able to change with the senior team for another 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Change with the senior team, did you say?
Yeah, like he's had
For the child protection thing, yeah. Or if Jamie Carragher is right, then it's because it's Arteta, like
been
with his cojones, yeah.
Zubimendi, Good?
I think I mentioned yesterday, just that scanning and awareness that he has when he's got the ball. There were a couple of games, particularly in the Newcastle game, where I thought there was just that. Obviously, they've not played together before, and there was just miscommunication a couple of times for the goals in particular. I thought they went missing a bit in the midfield on both those occasions. But look, you can't be too hard. It's just like the opening 2 games pre-season, never played together. He's class, when he's got the ball. It's just uncomplicated, press resistant, stronger than I thought he was or would be. Like yesterday up against Guimaraes, Joel Linton, these beasts. I won't say shrugged them off, but he held his own. Really impressive.
I read this, I can't remember who said it, that the Arsenal team or the Arsenal players are going to have to get used to how good Zubimendi is insofar as he can receive the ball in any scenario. So trust him. He can receive it. He's comfortable receiving the ball anytime.
And distribute it as well, quickly.
So get used to the more adjusted we get to his skill set, the better we'll become and the better he'll become again. Like, you surround yourself with better players, you become a better player yourself, and that kind of...
I think he's got the potential to be our kind of new metronome, but at a slightly higher tempo, say from Partey. I hope.
Anyone else? Havertz, I've written down here. Under pressure, perhaps.
See, I don't see it, and I know we'll come on to... He looks good. But
Trossard, do you see Trossard's muscles?
Is he Popeye?
Jeez. Yes. I'm not going to call him Trossard anymore. I'm scared.
might come and do you. But I think, about Havertz and generally that idea of, so-and-so, we've bought so-and-so, so they're going to replace him. I think we have to get into this mindset now of rotation options rather than backups. But that, for me, is a better mindset in terms of why not play Havertz for 60 and then bring on Gyökeres or vice versa. You're not viewing them as, one is far better than the other. You're the kind of backup.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate. As a striker, you need rhythm. Don't you need to start games to get that rhythm? Of all the positions on the field, striker.
But with the option to come off and bring someone on who's got a slightly different skill set where there's no drop-off in quality, is my point.
Okay, but I think that works for Havertz.
It works both ways.
I'm not sure Gyökeres is the player that you can bring on. He's the clinical goal machine that we've long yearned for.
Arteta loves Havertz.
Havertz can also play left 8.
Yeah.
Which is a hugely competitive position. Is becoming.
Sure.
Especially if Eze turns up.
Exactly.
Aren't these great problems to have?
Yes.
Well, exactly.
Yes.
And then why not rotate? And why not rest Rice for a game where you can put, if you're at home and you want to be a bit more adventurous and have Eze coupled with Ødegaard as the 2/8s?
Well, Marino, can I just, as a nod to doff my cap to Marino's finish yesterday?
Oh.
Bloody hell.
And he won it off Guimaraes.
Lovely layoff from Havertz.
Yep.
But that was clinical.
Yeah. For a big guy to shift his body position so quickly and pass it into the net.
And to have the presence of mind, not look at Ben White's chance a bit earlier.
Yeah, we lashed it.
And he just absolutely leathered it over the bar, like no finesse whatsoever. I mean, if it was on target, the keeper wasn't getting anywhere near it because it would have been beyond him before he knew where it was. But Marino was just like passed it into the bottom corner. Like, beautiful finish.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else stand out? No, someone said Nelson in the first game was really good. Looked our most dangerous left winger.
Yeah, but he's off to Fulham, so.
Yeah, so what I've heard there is it's either one of two options with Fulham: a loan fee with an obligation, with an option to buy, or no loan fee but an obligation to buy. So, but
it's kicking the can down the road, isn't it? You want a sale or you want a loan with an obligation would be my choice.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the players. I mean, look, I'm going to go through our rivals and how they fared in the transfer market so far. But before doing that, I want to just mention Luis Diaz as a sale. And yeah, okay, there was that Kwanzaa going to the same team that they bought Havertz off. Yeah, you might think a bit of, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. But Luis Diaz is as a 29-year-old and is a good player, but his numbers aren't off the charts or anything. They're making a profit selling a 29-year-old to Bayern Munich for £65 million. Liverpool are very, very good at selling. And their net spend is looking very healthy because of that. So they've dropped a huge amount of money. But they've recouped an awful lot. We've recouped a few million quid from Tavares. So this is the next phase of the transfer window is the sales. The rumours about Trossard. They seem to be the most kind of vocal or prominent rumours. Nelson to Fulham. Go on, Steph.
So I was just going to say, using Diaz as a barometer, in terms of his standing within the Liverpool squad, Trossard is our probably closest player to a similar standing in the squad. But I bet
Trossard's got more. I bet Trossard's numbers are better than Diaz's last season.
I mean, yeah, maybe. In my head, I don't really see Diaz as being the value he is, but how Liverpool have got that deal done, all right, Bayern have got money, and Bayern do tend to skew sometimes who they buy being a little bit older. You know, they've got Harry Kane as he's crossed the 30 age bracket and so on. However, the players I look at leaving the squad, who are almost definites to be moved on in some way, just don't have a high enough standing to really create a market for. I've got Hein, Zinchenko, Lokonga, Vieira, Nelson. Much of a muchness, really. Nelson's actually on quite high wages for someone who's featured so little. All right, he's had his injuries and whatnot. Zinchenko's probably not going to be far off that either. Lokonga, okay, we spent very little on him. Vieira is the anomaly because there's a player in there, but we whacked a lot of money on him. So, yeah, unless it is someone of the standing of Trossard, and I don't particularly like it myself, but, you know, every now and again people drop that Martinelli could be a player that we look to move on because we worry that he's plateaued, but I don't know.
There's talk of Jesus going as well.
That's an interesting... Apparently there's no official thing in that, but it's just been sounded out, I guess.
Whispers, yeah.
And it was... But even then it was Flamengo, wasn't it? And back in Brazil, and it was sharing his wages 50-50. He's our second highest earner, I think. Yeah. 230 grand a week or something.
Berta's kind of ruthless, isn't he?
Well, the Tomiyasu, it does give me hope that he will be far better at selling than Edu was. I mean, there's a growing body of evidence to say that he was a better buyer than Edu was as well, and we thought Edu was all right up until the last 12 to 18 months, I guess, when his eye maybe have been elsewhere anyway. But, I mean, how much you'd get for those players, I don't know. Yeah, I want Nelson sold, not loaned. I think it's important. Trossard, I think, is the one, you talk low-hanging fruit. He's the closest to the first team. He's the biggest name closest to the first team, I think, that I'd be prepared to sell. Kivior, I definitely do not want Kivior to be sold, especially as Gabriel has not featured in these two games, having played 45 minutes in the behind closed doors game against Watford. A niggle he had, a little bit of a concern. Timber hasn't featured either. So we've still got a couple of... Yeah, now I didn't see that. Apparently what the latest is that it's not a serious injury at all. But again, he started both games, like Chris, you were saying that Arteta with the start to the season, but also a little bit of concern about Gabriel, perhaps, that Calafiori started both pre-season games as a centre-back and done quite well, apparently. But
I think Gabriel just had one of those, when you've had a big injury, you get another one a few weeks later once you've started playing. It's one of those, it sounds like, and they're just being precautious. But
okay, so
that's my dog.
Hello, dog. Since we've recorded just us, we've officially signed. We've had about 24 here we goes, but Gyökeres is now officially an Arsenal player. Steph, you can relax. We didn't quite, Chris, get the Berta hand on shoulder, or Chris, Steph, I thought which one of you two was saying that you're not going to assume that they're an Arsenal player until you see Berta's menacing hand on his shoulder and signing on. No, you will sign. I can't do his accent. I've never heard him speak. I don't know what accent he has, but anyway. So Gyökeres now, that's great. Obviously, it's our striker. We love his attitude, the way he's come across, the way he was, only Arsenal. The effort he put into making the move happen, and his agent dropping his 10%. I'm sure he'll get it back in increments over the next few years. But, foregoing that for his client was great. The fact that the whole family burst into tears when the deal was official, that's brilliant. Love to hear it. And his willingness to take on the number 14, iconic shirt from Arsenal, was great. All of that's brilliant. But being Arsenal fans, and he's our 6th signing, and I think we've hovered around between 8 and 9 out of 10 for the purchasing side of the window. Perhaps the sales side of the window is way down. It's like 1 out of 10 at the moment because we've got a few million quid from a sell-on fee and from Tavares. But so Kepa, Norgard, Mosquera, really good. Squad players, Zubimendi, Madueke and Gyökeres really push the starting 11 quality as well in different ways. Right, but we're quite a greedy fan base. And we're looking at maybe the green-eyed monster at what's going on at Anfield. And in particular, what we fear is going to happen in the next few days. Now, we're recording this on a Monday evening. It'll probably go out on Tuesday. So you guys might be listening to it or watching it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this story will have evolved by the time you're watching it. So I apologise if what we're about to talk about it has become redundant. But it looks like Isak only wants Liverpool. He's pretty much agitated for a move. Now, Newcastle are in a strong position. He's got 3 years left on his contract. They've said he's not for sale. £150 million is the mooted figure that might get them around the table. But can they keep an agitated player? Liverpool have just sold Luis Diaz for 65 million. They may get between 40 and 60 for Núñez as well. Now, he could end up going there. They've just dropped 70 million, whatever it is, on Ekitike, who's a very similar profile to Isak, just younger, less rounded, I guess. They've got Havertz, 110 million. They've got Salah already there. Like, this is a frightening forward line Liverpool are putting together. But I think it was Legrove. He said, and then we haven't got Eze yet, right? And that may never happen. He said, Gyökeres and Eze is better than Isak. He said it's not even close. And I agree with him. Now, let me talk about the numbers. Gyökeres, 54 million, Eze, 60 million if we pay his release clause. There's the add-ons as well for both players. So just those two, that's 114 million. You need to add another 35 million if the £150 million figure is realistic for Isak. So Gyökeres and Eze, no. Or plus 35 million to get Isak. Isak, who is, and I've Isak throughout last season with a cough. I've had an Isak cough for about 12, 14 months. However, he is injury prone. There's no getting away from that. He does have that muscular injury, and we've got a really rich history of muscular injuries, recent muscular injuries. So, So where do you guys stand? So, Steph, like, Gyökeres and Eze, better than Isak?
The thing about transfers is no one knows, is it? It's all a gamble. I would prefer my club... right, I'm a hypocrite. Modern life makes hypocrites of us all, because I was about to say I would prefer my club to spread the bet, make a lower, safer bet on the two players. Yeah, I think I'm on that. Yeah, I was all for Declan Rice, 100 million. We could have probably bought two very good midfielders, 50 million apiece. But boy, did I know what Declan Rice can do. On his day, we know what Isak can do. He's unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, all I can do is judge the business we've done. Now we've got Gyökeres, we are not going to sign Isak. So it's out of my head. It's not a thing. So I'm happy with Gyökeres, fine. I just wanted us to buy a striker. We needed depth. We needed variety. That's great. If we get Eze, I love him already. I like him as a person. He's a brilliant player as well, obviously. Fine. So I'm just, yeah, the two for me.
Chris?
I'll give you a more kind of emotional response then, just to counter in a way, is that for me, the two players, Gyökeres and Eze, who've made it clear that they would like to be with us, versus someone who's made it clear he wants to be with Liverpool, it's no contest. And then you get into the numbers thing and the idea of having two players of that quality, Gyökeres and Eze, versus one of Isak. For me, it's a no-brainer.
But plus an extra 35 million, so that would have got you Norgard and Mosquera, you know.
Yeah.
For the Isak money and Kepa. Do you know what it would? Those five players. So all our signings, bar Madueke or Isak.
But then this is a Liverpool that have added Gyökeres, Frimpong, Havertz. Oh, tell you what.
On top of Salah.
And new deals for Salah, Van Dijk. It's scary.
It's exciting. When do we go to Anfield? Transfer or the day before deadline day, isn't it?
Game three.
Game three. Sorry.
Hopefully, the Isak thing is rumbling on, and it goes right down to the wire.
Yeah, and is very messy. I'll just put another thing in there as how I see them shaping up as they stand now, and even if they do bring Isak in, yes, they probably edge it on the front line, but I think our defence and midfield are better. There you go.
Clipping that up.
And for once, it's not me saying it.
Yeah, you can do
the stats will bear out the defence. All right, they've brought Frimpong in, like you said, and Gyökeres, but
I think with that as well, it's like Van Dijk's a year older, and he can't. I mean, I know he greatest centre back in world football over the last 5 years, certainly, and his reading of the game means he doesn't need to be as athletic. Bit like Saliba's reading of the game is in a similar vein. But my mate Schlinger, Man United fan, he said about, just going back to the Isak thing, he said if it wasn't Liverpool who were buying Isak, he'd find it hilarious that this was happening to Newcastle. And I think I'm on board with that. It's just the fact it's Liverpool that he's going to go to, likely. I'd even rather him go to Chelsea.
Come in.
Well, he's not interested. He's got ambition.
Why would he be?
Exactly. Yeah. I'd even rather he went to Chelsea because,
looks like they're getting that Hato.
Yeah, for 40 million euros.
They've just got loads of footballers. It's weird.
But it's all right. He'll be coming to us in 2 years' time.
Yeah, for 100 million.
Chelsea are just a kind of like a pit stop on the way to Arsenal.
Yeah. That I can see I think that we pivoted away from him to Mosquera, and we got him for like 15 million.
Price. Yeah.
Yeah,
what a deal.
You can't argue when our priority had to have been in attack. You take that all day long. You'd say, okay, I'm not paying 40 million for Hato when I can pay 15 million for Mosquera. It makes sense.
A player who played every game bar one, I think, for Valencia last season. That's mad.
And if you haven't seen the welcome video for Mosquera, just watch it. It's so heartwarming.
It made his dad cry. Think about
the whole
Dad's
family
crying.
sat there.
They got his brother to pretend sign the contract beforehand because apparently his younger brother's a really good footballer as well. There's one of the biggest things for me that Arteta has transformed, and this is not, I don't require any credit for acknowledging this. It's plain for all to see. Is the kind of the toxicity's all gone. The connection between the fan base and the players is as good as it has ever been. Maybe apart from the days when the Arsenal team were up and down the Holloway Road on pub crawls on after matches and stuff like that. But all these players we've signed seem like nice, decent people, but will fit in. Like 6 players is a lot to kind of what's the word?
Integrate.
Thank you. To having talked for 2 weeks, not thinking anymore, brain's gone mush. Integrate into a squad, but I think they're all a really good fit. And I forgot, really, there's a photograph of Gyökeres and Ben White hugging. They know each other from Brighton. Mm. So it's like there's all these connections that are there. Madueke knows the England players from his England days as well. So it just seems like there's a nice kind of bunch of people, and the energy's all good, and hopefully conspires to win.
I know some people will try and read it that Arteta wants yes men, but there is something to be said in skewing some of the purchases younger, in Mosquera, for example, Madueke, who still maybe have to prove themselves and will hit their peak years, but then getting in the likes of Kepa, Norgard, those experienced heads, and it just feels like all those players at the two sort of age groupings all have drive. Norgard thought his chance of Champions League football had basically gone, and now he's in a squad that will play Champions League football this year, and so he's driven. Kepa has probably come to realise that him being a first choice keeper. Go on. Can
I just say on the Kepa thing, because it's something I read today. Raya was interviewed, and Raya has said that Arteta has not given him any assurances that he is the number one goalkeeper. So Raya has said that. Nobody,
it's properly to push him. Oh, yeah.
So Kepa's come in saying, no, you can be number one, but you need to prove it.
Yeah.
And Raya said, you don't, and Raya was really good because he said, you don't play for a club like this without competition for places. It's good. Yeah. Attitudes. Can we just say on a... Go on.
That attitude and drive, and I love the fact that the club are also looking at the personality of the player and the environment around them, the reputation around them as well, because it's just about making sure everyone is pulling in the same direction, I guess.
Yeah, Gyökeres has big point to prove, and he's been very vocal about that. And this is like, he feels like this is his, like Norgard, this is his chance. Big stage, Champions League, can turn a nearly team into a winning team. Like, you can make yourself a hero. You can make yourself a legend at the club. It's there for you. Madueke, fair play to him. Did we think we'd get a player with as high a ceiling as him as backup for Saka?
No.
So, I mean, fair play. He's backing himself, and he has said in his interviews as well, I'm just as happy on the left-hand side as I am on the right-hand side. Dispelling those rumours about, I know I only want to play on the right-hand side. Funny enough, the Rodrigo rumours have kind of disappeared, haven't they? I've not heard his name linked with us in a couple of weeks now. Rafael Leao, have I get his name right? The AC Milan player. He's started liking a lot of following a lot of Arsenal players on Instagram, apparently. So Steph, this would be my question about him. Martinelli stays, but we'll get rid of Trossard, sell Trossard if that's the way it's going. Eze is more of a central player, can play on the left, but is more central, left 8 perhaps. But with someone like Nwaneri playing a lot of minutes centrally now, that's what he's obviously been told. Max Dowman also, like, look, you can't make that impact in pre-season games and not be in with the shout of a spot on the bench for certain games, not every game, but for certain games, even with a fully fit squad. He's more central as well. Is it? And Marino can play that kind of left eight also, and Havertz can drop back and play that left eight. As Chris, you said, it's a crowded position. Might it be an idea to forego the Eze purchase and focus on an out-and-out left winger like a Rafael Leao or a Rodrigo?
Yeah, from a strategy point of view, I could totally understand that in terms of the balance of the squad positionally. Leao just doesn't strike me. The work required from Arteta's demands without the ball, the bits I've seen of Leao in the Champions League, the odd game in Serie A in Italy, he is I don't know how to do it. With the ball, he's one of those magic players that he can go on a run and beat 5 players and then get shot away, or he can beat a man on the wing and get the cross in. You know, he can do it all with the ball at his feet. Doesn't strike me as the most intense player without the ball. So I just don't. For me, it's a bit of a non-starter. And AC Milan would want big money for him.
What about Rodrigo?
Yeah, I think now that we've spent what we have on Gyökeres, and even including Madueke, if we push for some, it wouldn't be Eze and Rodrigo, obviously.
No, one or the other.
And Rodrigo would be more of an out-and-out left winger, I suppose. I don't know.
What would you prefer?
I've flipped to Eze now already in my head.
More versatility.
Yeah.
Can play on the left, can play in the middle. Chris, what about you? What about like foregoing the central player, because we've got a lot of options in that position already, whereas we've only got, well, we don't know what Madueke is like as a left winger, but we know what Martinelli is like as a left winger, and we know what Trossard is like as a left winger. So, you know, do we upgrade that position? Because at the moment, as we are now, you could argue even with Eze on the left hand side, may not be an upgrade on the left wing, as Saka is on the right wing.
Don't know. I'd argue that he is. Interesting to watch Leao the other day, because I thought he suffered from some of the issues that we accuse Martinelli of having, which are great breaking away, then is confronted with that final option and just too often chooses the wrong option. And that occurred a couple of times in that AC Milan game, and I thought, well, there's no guarantees here either.
Is that because AC Milan didn't put any other players forward? I heard they had 10 men behind the ball for most of the game.
Well, they broke on us a few times, and Leao was instrumental in those breaks, but didn't make the right choices. And Martinelli was having a bit of a stinker in the same way in his final choices in that game. But again, small sample size, so I can't profess to know and to have watched Leao extensively. All I can say is I know Eze inside out. Have loved watching him play either as a left eight. I mean, for Palace, he roams all over the place. I just want us to have some unpredictability up front and to be able to interchange and go, well, where's he going? He's not hugging the touchline. Where's he going to go? Is the fullback going to bomb on the outside? How are we going to do this? And I just think with all the options that we could have, having someone like Eze, that appeals to me far more.
Bit like how Max Dowman played when he came on.
I also just want to...
But in the sense of being a ball carrier.
Yeah, and he did. That's what he did.
Chaos creator. Yeah. Right. So
he committed players. He took players on and got past them. And yeah, go on, Steph.
I was just going to say, I also want to mark the fact, look at the players we're talking about as being options. You know, Leao, Rodrigo, Eze.
Yeah.
It's still a bit of a privilege to sort of be in that position. You know, we're talking quality players. But yeah,
aren't we lucky we were born Arsenal?
Well, a few years ago, who were our options? You know, when we were discussing Guendouzi,
Glenn Helder
playing left, Glenn Helder, Lichtsteiner.
Oh, but Glenn Helder was a winger at least. At least I've got the right position.
Yeah, and Lichtsteiner was a Stefan. So
Yeah.
We all have our cross to bear. Just looking at the other teams then, I made a note of, and they got this off, I don't know, was it Sky Sports website or something, confirmed deals so far. So Isak obviously isn't down on this list, right? So Chelsea confirmed purchase so far, and acknowledging that they're about to sign Hato and Simmons. Yeah.
And we've been recording for quite a while now, Holly. Is this a long list from Chelsea, I imagine?
It's probably getting longer as I've been speaking, yeah. They've signed Gittins from Dortmund for 51 million, Pedro from Brighton for 60 million, Delap from Ipswich for 30 million, Estavao from Palmeiras for 29 million. He's that young kid that they bought him like last year, and they loaned him back, and he's coming this year. And then two players I don't know: Esugo from Sporting for 18 million, and Sarr from Strasbourg, undisclosed. And then Hato and Simmons from Leipzig and Ajax. On top of all the players they've already got, like I struggled to name the starting 11 from Chelsea last season, and I think that will be the same this season. Liverpool, Kerkez from Bournemouth, 40 million. Havertz from Leverkusen, 116 million. Frimpong from Leverkusen, 29 million. Marmadashvili, a goalkeeper from Valencia, 29 million. Ekatike from Frankfurt, 79 million. We know they've strengthened, and they are the champions. They won the league at a canter last season, and they have strengthened. There's no question about that. Man City, they're an interesting one. I'm waiting for them to really explode on the market. Now, I know they had a big January, but the players they signed in January, let me take some time to bed in. The centre-back, Marmoush, I'm like, yeah, they're okay, but they're not like... Even in terms of numbers, someone like Mahrez, they signed from Leicester. He was a dangerous player, really good player. But then look at Doku, and who's the other guy they've got on the other side, the winger?
Well, they were playing Bernardo Silva out there, weren't they?
No, there's is he Brazilian? Doku on one side and begins with S.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I can't remember his name either. Yeah, I know you mean. Him.
Yeah,
that
him.
Fella.
But dangerous enough. Trick.
Savino. Is that his name?
Savino. Yeah, Savino.
Oh, I don't know.
Savino. Apologies to everybody. Chris, edit this bit out.
No.
No, okay. They've got Reinders, I don't know about his pronunciation, from Milan for 46 million. They've got Rayan Aitnouri from Wolves for 36 million. Cherki from Lyon for 34 million. And then that midfielder Nipan from Rosenborg that we were interested in for 12 million, but they're loaning him out to some other team next season. And anyway, we got Waneri and Max Dowman there. We don't want someone like him, an 18-year-old kid coming in from elsewhere to threaten their minutes, because they're good enough, and they need to see a pathway to the first team as well. So they're the kind of people seem to have already decided that the top four are going to be the top four, and there's going to be some distance between fourth and fifth. So the top four are going to be Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City. The order is unknown at the moment. And if you look at the amount of players these teams have... So look at Spurs. They've only signed one player. Who have they signed? Not Morgan Gibbs-White.
Kudus.
Kudus from West Ham. Good player, but again, flattered to deceive a little bit, perhaps. Last season, now playing in a poor team, we give them, allowances for that. Man United, Cunha and Mbeumo. I think they're two good purchases. United need to score more goals, absolutely. So that will help that. But United's defence and midfield, central midfield and defence, pretty weak. Goalkeeper dodgy as hell, and
injured.
And they still haven't got a striker. Newcastle, sorry, Newcastle having a brilliant transfer window. Every player they've gone for has said only somebody else. Only not Newcastle. They signed Elanga from... Elanga's goal against us was the flukiest goal you'll ever see. He hit it from his right foot to his left foot and it went in off the post. He should be ashamed celebrating that goal. I'm not sure he did actually celebrate, but anyway. So they've not strengthened, and they look like they will be losing Isak. They're now linked with Sesko, and that's not just a convenient link. They are talking to the club, so Sesko may well end up at Newcastle. Ekitike would have been the obvious replacement for Isak, but he's gone to the team that may well purchase Isak as well. I'm looking forward to the Liverpool-Newcastle game at St James's Park, whenever that is, because that'll be tasty as hell, especially if Isak's in the I know, what's Liverpool's away kit? Will they wear red up there?
Yellow or something.
Black, normally, isn't it?
So the gap between fourth and Villa haven't signed anyone. It looks like they might have to sell before they can buy. Brighton have lost Pedro. I'm not sure. Bournemouth have been cherry-picked as well. Brentford also.
Cherry-picked, nice.
Nice, deliberate. I know my nicknames. I didn't. Subliminally, that came up. So the top four could be, quite a bit above, because we are the four teams who have strengthened the most. But when you're looking at those other teams, our rivals, and how they've strengthened, Chris, who are you impressed by? Which club are you most impressed by? I think that's probably an obvious answer, but who are you most worried about, or how do you think they're faring in relation to us, perhaps?
It's Liverpool, isn't it? By a country mile. You can't see much past them, in terms of being favourites. Yeah, it's got to be them. I don't really have the fear of. It's like you said with City. I just think they're in that rebuilding phase where half a dozen signings and probably 3 or 4 of them probably won't be up to the mark. How do you replace De Bruyne? How do you replace an ageing Rodri? I don't know, who's coming back from an ACL.
No, I'm not having that. Rodri's the best player in the world in his position, coming back from injury. That's massive. Forget anyone that they could sign. He'll be back.
Will he be as good after an ACL?
I think he will.
Real Madrid are interested in him. The rumours have started from the Spanish press.
That'd be nice.
And what age is he?
Yeah, I'm surprised that Madrid might go for that, but couldn't tell you.
But Liverpool, for me, stick out as the obvious danger. But like
Rodri
I said,
is 29.
Okay.
Chelsea are an odd one, because I don't know how to take them, because they could have a very, very good 11. Their midfield is very strong. Mark Gahey from Crystal Palace, be interesting to see where he ends up. Liverpool again could be his destination. He's got 1 year left, and Palace have said they'd rather sell him now than let him go. So sell him now for 50 million rather than let him run down his contract.
He a left-footed centre-back, and so is Van Dijk. I don't know.
Well, Konate might end up leaving as well. I mean, I don't know whether. Yeah, to be fair, I don't know Gay and his preferred position. I don't know how. Is he equally adept in both centre back slots? I have no idea. So Chelsea, Man City. So Liverpool are the team to beat. And they're the squad to match. So, Chris, how do you think we match up against them? You've already kind of alluded to that earlier, but
I do. I'm pretty sort of confident in what we've assembled. We have that thing of bigging up an opposition because they've made some signings without really appreciating what we've got ourselves. In so far as the best defence in the league last year, we've made some really good acquisitions there. As rotation options, and I think we have to lean into that and be confident, and certainly in midfield as well. So, yeah, attack is where they've kind of edged
interestingly, this time last year in defence for us, compared to now, so take 12 months ago, we've actually got not just Mosquera, we've got Timber back as well, but we've got Mars Lewis-Skelly, who wasn't in the conversation this time last year. And I've asked you guys to put together the team you think will start at Old Trafford, and I'm pretty confident you've all got Mars Lewis-Skelly starting the game at left back. So we picked him up as a first team starter compared to this time last year, and better off for it as well. Calafiori, injury-free, is a very good player, but injury-free.
Yeah.
What about you, Steph?
Yeah, I
Other
can't
teams?
help but be pleased that we've done the business we've done and we've addressed areas that we needed addressing, and we've done it all relatively quickly. It's now just moving into sale phase and get everyone fit and ready to hit the ground running.
Do you think we need one more signing?
Yes, although when you asked us to think about, okay, if we were picking the team for Man United today, what would it be? We do now have a squad that has good depth, but clearly there will be some players who are now surplus to requirements. So I think I do wonder now if a player comes in, it will be because someone else has been jettisoned.
Chris, what position on the pitch do you think we need to strengthen from where we are right now?
From where we are right now, you mean anticipating potential sales or not?
Well, yeah, I mean, that can, yeah. No, not forced sales, so sales that we're kind of instigating ourselves.
Well, the left forward is the one for me that is the glaring one. But I worry that we might be looking at a left back. I know he likes to gather his left backs, but what if, if there is a big offer for Kivior and Zinchenko goes, and we've got an accident-prone, injury-prone Calafiori, we're suddenly very light in the left.
Mosquera can play across all four positions.
But are you going to chuck him in straight away?
I don't know. He's had 2 whole seasons in La Liga. Like he's experienced. He can do it.
Yeah, he won't want to chuck him in though.
No, he won't. Of course.
So if you're looking at Prem ready, then there's potentially left forward definitely, but there's potential for a left-sided defender as well, I think.
Can I ask? I should have looked. Chris, did Kivior play in these 2 pre-season games?
Yeah, and I can't tell you. He got that lovely diagonal, didn't he, in the AC Milan game?
Saka's goal.
But they've been chopping and changing those. They all come off after about 66 minutes, I think, was the kind of sweet spot where they changed half the team. And I wasn't paying that much attention to know who'd got how many minutes. But
Calafiori started both games. That's all I do know.
Yeah, and it seems like a tweak, but who knows?
He's becoming a player you can't rely on, which is a shame.
But a couple of his injuries last year were freaky kind of accident injuries rather than, those slips where he twisted awkwardly.
He certainly slipped and
well.
twisted his knee playing for Italy. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's move on to the team that we think will start at Old Trafford on the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Steph,
my 2 caveats.
I asked you to name the starting 11 plus the 9 subs.
Okay, so my only 2 caveats were not in the starting 11 and the 9 subs are Calafiori and Gabriel. I'm just concerned about their fitness levels and their availability for that, and I because I don't know, I've just left them out. Which is a
Timber?
good. Pardon?
What about Timber?
Oh, see, I've got
he hasn't played either.
In the squad. Oh, okay, maybe I should have done that as well then. I've got him in. I didn't know the situation with his injury, so he's got him then. You giving us this thought, yeah, okay. You giving us this thought exercise made me realise that this will help me get over the trauma of the youth academy bench we had against PSG in the Champions League semi-final. We're addressing those depth concerns. Raya, White, Saliba, Kivior, Lewis Skelly, Odegaard, Zubimendi, Rice, Saka, Havertz, Martinelli. Then on the bench, Kepa.
Sorry, can I just say, that is exactly the starting 11 that I've picked.
Fine.
Me too.
On
is
the bench.
Really?
Kepa, Mosquera, Timber, Norgard, Marino, Nwaneri, Trossard, Madueke, Gyökeres. Would like to just explain, completely forgot about Marino until I checked the squad list on the website. He was literally not on my radar. So that's a player of that quality who's really surprised me with how he had, especially the second half of the season. I forgot. Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Chris,
Could you read, because I don't want to waste time, but could you read your subs bench again quickly? Because
Kepa, Mosquera, Timber,
Yep.
Norgard,
Yep.
Marino, Waneri, Trossard,
Yep.
Madueke, Gyökeres.
Same.
There you
so
go.
I've got.
I had a few
different...
like slashes of like possible, as you did with. I've got Gallas, Calafiori / Gabriel / Kivior.
Gallas?
No,
You said
Calafiori. It's Gallas. It's a
I came over all
Freudian
funny.
slip.
It's hot in here.
He's coming back. No, but yeah, it's injury dependent.
Like I say, Calafiori and Gabriel definitely make it into the squad. Obviously, Gabriel in the starting 11 if he's fit. But yeah, there's a lot of extra bodies that are older. And I mean, Dowman is going to feature in the squad at some point this season. But early doors, get him in the under-21s, boss in that, bring him in for a couple of early cup games and then see where we're at. But yeah, Jesus, Nelson, Vieira, Lokonga, Zinchenko, Hine all need clarity because we've got players ahead of them now.
So I've got a couple of. I completely forgot about Mosquera. So, but in his place, so I've got a circle around Trossard. I'm not sure Trossard will still be here.
Okay.
But maybe he might be for that game, maybe not. Because there's still 2 weeks between that game and the end of the transfer window. I've obviously put Dowman in on the bench.
I thought you were going to say on the pitch.
No. I think Arteta loves him. And remember, last year he was bemoaning the fact he couldn't play him. So he was doing the opposite of playing it down and managing expectations. He was like, "No, this kid's the real deal. Like I see him in training. Like he's ready for it," which is a ridiculous thing to say about a 14-year-old, now 15-year-old. So, and what you look for is how many times did Nelson come off the bench as a seasoned pro and play safe? You know, he wanted him to come on and just grab the game, take the initiative, and which is what Dowman seems to just do because he doesn't even think about it. It's just his game. That's what he does. So he's got the confidence already. Like, this is where I belong. This is my church.
My only defence of Nelson is I never felt he played badly for Arsenal, but like you say, just didn't necessarily take the initiative. And I think he perhaps needs to go somewhere else. You said about building rhythm. Well, Nelson's never had that with us. So I think forge your career somewhere else. He's a good player. He'll be a good Premier League player somewhere.
If you look at your bench, so when a bench that's got Gyökeres, Madueke, and Waneri, and then
Marino,
you've got
Norgard. The
Marino,
level head you can bring on to see a game out. Wow.
But I want us to come on and get the second, third, fourth, fifth goal, not even see the game out.
But I'm hoping Norgard comes on when we're already 3-0
up. Yeah,
exactly.
But that's when Dowman should come on.
Attack.
No pressure.
It's nice to have the option, Holly, because sometimes you're not going to win them by more than one goal. And if you can bring someone on at the 90th minute to shore it up, it's Norgard, like you said, and there's no drop-off there. He's the captain of Brentford, for God's sake.
But our purchases suggest we are trying to push so that fewer games are in that balance. That's what we need to stride. Even if it's a handful of games that you take away, that's going to make a big difference to the outcome.
Do me a favour, and if you've written that team down, just keep it. Yeah, set it aside. And when we're doing our pre-United or maybe post-United podcast, we can compare how we thought we'd line up, because we're still talking about Timber and Gabriel, 2 first 11 players who are injured, who may not make it in time for that game. I know it's 3 weeks yesterday, just under 3 weeks till that game, so there's still plenty of time. But yeah, that is a much stronger squad. If you could just add the name Eze to that subs bench. Well, no,
I'm already excited.
Yeah, but you're not putting Eze on the subs bench. I'm sorry, Martinelli's on the subs bench. Eze's in the starting 11 if he's in at that point. Because I think agree with you, Chris. I think every Arsenal fan now would probably agree that the one area, the one position on the team that needs to be upgraded is that left-sided attacker. You know, you're not going to do better than Saka on the right-hand side, right? We've already got the best there. I know Salah, Liverpool fans and all that, but we've got the best. Age-wise, everything, he's there. Gyökeres through the middle. That's, we've upgraded there. We needed the striker, we've got the striker. Yes, Havertz has done really well, but again, he hasn't scored in pre-season. I know. I think he got a goal against Watford in behind closed doors. I think he was one of the 2 goal scorers there. But
can I just remind you, Darren Bent scored 9 goals in pre-season for Spurs, and then went something like 18 odd games without scoring in the league. So pinch of salt.
Spurs.
Darren Bent,
and he's a gooner anyway. So he'd have done that deliberately.
Never forgotten that. Why I don't get invested in pre-season. It's all about just minutes in the legs, building up your stamina. Two
other potentially interesting points or transfers that are in the offing. Xhaka to Sunderland.
Weird.
Is that a goer?
But that's a here we go. That's how
Sunderland and Leverkusen have agreed a fee, so it's now just like the fine.
It makes more sense when you realise that Ten Hag is now Xhaka's manager in Germany. So he's like, no, I'd rather play for Sunderland. Sorry, Sunderland fans. Since I watched that documentary, I've been a closet Sunderland fan. I think that's that initial. What was it called?
Till I Die.
Till I Die.
Yeah.
Till I Die. I thought it was brilliant. Loved it. It was the first of those kind of fly on the wall documentaries following a club and their support. So I hope he does really well there.
Can't wait to do it again. But Xhaka.
There.
Okay.
And the other one is, and this is, I don't know how I feel about this. Ramsdale to Newcastle apparently is quite far along.
A bit like we got Kepa.
Pope?
No, but he's in the Kepa role to push Pope a bit.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think he's got a better chance of play. And when you think about it, John Ruddy was the second choice goalkeeper at Newcastle against us. He played. He came on against us in the pre-season game a couple of days ago.
John Ruddy.
Yeah, well, Ruddy. So there's a surname Ruddy. So
okay.
Because he made the save from Dowman. So if that is the case, then yes, Ramsdale is definitely at the very. I think Ramsdale pushes Pope for number 1 up there. Again, they're in Europe. They've got a lot of games. They were,
because I like Ramsdale.
Yes.
But I don't like Newcastle at the minute.
But he could be all about getting them relegated. He's done, 3 of his 4 teams have gone down.
Yeah, bit orcs.
Anything else, guys? You want to share observations, etc.?
Well, just as you've mentioned Newcastle, just a couple of funny things I saw online that I want to share. I heard various people refer to Newcastle following our friendly with them as Prison Ball FC, as Stoke 2.0, and someone described Eddie Howe as Tony Pulis with A-levels. So just thought I'd share those. They may be slightly amused.
Very good.
Please clip that and put that out on TikTok for the Geordies to come steaming in at us.
Hey, I didn't say it. Saw it online.
Yeah, your messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah. Right. If you're still listening or watching, thank you and well done. Please do check out our North Bank Meet series, the latest one with Luke Kempner's. Brilliant. He's really funny and has some great insights and stories. His meeting with Arsene Wenger being a highlight, and Roy Keane puts in an appearance in that podcast as well. So do try and catch that. Do like and subscribe and follow and whatever you do on all those other social media accounts that help boost our numbers. We appreciate it. And I should really have opened with that rather than wait until we're an hour and 15 minutes into the podcast to do it. But anyway, better late than never, he says. Anyway, enjoy the next few days. I think we've got Spurs on Thursday. No idea what time of the day or night it is, but it's in Hong Kong. It could be Gyökeres's first run out in an Arsenal shirt. Be a bit nice for him to get a sneaky little goal against that lot, wouldn't it? And I think on that note, I shall say thank you and goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Not doing it.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.